Hi, I am Megan Storey, and I will be presenting to you my personal and professional goals for my portfolio to finish up my practicum for building administrators at Fort Hays State. So a little bit about me. I am a mother of three, and all my children are under 4 years old. They're 4 and under. We live south of the Kansas City Metro. My oldest, who is in the middle, he just started preschool this week in the Lewisburg School District. His name is Jackson. He's 4. Milo is 2.5, and then Sailor is 1. So a little bit about myself. I said I lived near the Kansas City Metro. Currently, I am a teacher at the Spring Hill Middle School as a science teacher here in the Spring Hill School District. I currently teach 6th grade science in person, 8th grade science in person, and then I am the MTSS 6th grade ELA interventionist for our whole building. Prior to teaching at Spring Hill, and even before that, I jumped from 2nd grade to the middle school level. I taught 4th grade previously also. I've been a coach in different districts for volleyball, varsity cheerleading, and then girls basketball. This is the first year that I am not coaching anything. I've been teaching for 8 years. 8.5 actually. I took a job straight out of college, and while that that semester may not count for anything towards my steps, it counted for me. That was one of the hardest years of my teaching career. Then I've been in 4 different school districts in 3 different states. I started in Oklahoma, which I'll talk about here in a second, Missouri, and then now in Kansas. So my educational background looks like this. I have a bachelor's out of Northwestern Oklahoma State University in elementary education. And then I obtained my first master's in instructional technology through Fort Hays State. And now I'm finishing my building leadership endorsement through Fort Hays State. So personal goals, we're going to talk about those, but I ultimately believe your personal and your professional goals kind of run together, just like your personal and professional life runs together. We live one life. So in the next 1 to 5 years, I'm going to continue to improve my physical health. I've lost about 90 pounds since I had my daughter, and so that is something to strive for, to be healthy mentally and physically. I would like to develop empathy for others. I think that that is something that I have a weakness, is for empathy for others. And so I did a training with Jethro Jones the other day, who's a principal out of the Northwest region of the United States. And he does a DISC training, and I'm a D. I'm a decisive, directive person. So I'm basically a bulldog, and I lack empathy. And so one of the things I want to do through that is to learn from failure. I feel that with that empathy piece that I have been lacking, when I fail at something, I just push forward, move forward instead of reflecting on that. And so my next 6 to 10 year personal goal would be to be debt-free from my student loans. I would like to maintain ideal body weight and physique. That's something that I've just really been striving for, and I feel like if I wake up every day and work out, that I am in the best mindset to achieve the goals set for that day. And then I would like to learn to forgive. So this kind of ties back to that learn from failure and empathy. I think that I tend to hold on to those things just because I lack that empathy, and so I'm trying to kind of continue to make gains for myself. Beyond 10 years, I would like to have a positive impact on the world. I think that's why we all become educators, right? We have a why we want to be educators and continue to. And so mine is a positive impact inside and outside the classroom. I would like to create multiple income sources. So I have recently gotten divorced and had bought a home on my own, and I have turned that into a rental home to create income sources for myself and for my children. And then I would like to maintain a healthy work-life balance. I feel like as a teacher, I'm really good about this. I don't take things home, but as a principal, I can see myself diving into things where I would need to create this healthy balance for my children and for myself. Professionally, over the next 1 to 5 years, I would like to obtain a job as an assistant principal, probably at a secondary level, because that's kind of my niche. I would like to learn to fail gracefully and then thrive. This goes back to my personal goals. Like I said, we live one life. And so with that failure, I feel like a lot of times, as I was saying, I push it off and brush forward. And so instead, I would like to kind of take my time to reflect on that, learn from it, and then lead by example. And so that's something that I feel like I can show my colleagues, my staff, my students, is that we all fail at some point in time, and failure is all in perception of how you perceive it and outsiders. The next 6 to 10 years, I would like to identify and foster leadership in others. I have had wonderful administration throughout my career that have helped foster leadership in me. And so it's kind of one of those things in education that the better you are at your job, the more hats that you essentially take on, it seems. And so I would like to identify that and be able to foster that in others. Then I want to obtain a job as a head principal or higher, if possible, after I kind of get some footing underneath me in that professional development, real world experience. And then I would like to build dynamic teams. I think dynamic teams are something that takes time, but also you have to have a good mix of variety. And so I talked to you earlier about having that Jethro Jones training, and I really saw how in my building right now that my principal is an I, and he had hired mainly I's. I was the only D in the whole building. And so as you see these certain kind of groups, it is helpful to know that you have a variety of other people so that there's like kind of an open-mindedness for all perspectives. Beyond 10 years, I would like to obtain a position within a district office or collegiate jobs. That's kind of been my goal. I've got to see a lot of people start out as teachers, move higher up, and then even higher to obtain those sort of jobs and make an impact on their lives. So why did I choose Fort Hays State? So one is the cost. The cost is so efficient for the classes that you receive. Everything is online. It's through a Google platform, which is user-friendly. It aligned to do this endorsement aligns with my first master's degree because I had taken a lot of education classes. The continued reputation, so like nothing has changed from the experience from my first master's to now. It's all been remarkable. And so like it's just anytime you need help, somebody responds back quickly. The real world application of it, like stuff that I'm already using as a teacher, has helped my instruction so much and my classroom management, and also to help my administration have a different set of views. And so one of the things that I feel I was practicing and studying for the praxis, and I noticed that one of the things is that what we do in our classes is aligned to that specifically. So that's huge to be able to take that and pass it the first time. My initial expectations for this program are to prepare to obtain a job as an administrator. Ultimately, I feel like that it's prepared me to be ready. I feel like I have a very open mind, and learning from my colleagues, especially in the currents, has been very successful. And it's just real world experience. While it's not on the job training, it is the closest thing you're going to receive to on the job training. So with that, this is my presentation about myself for my personal and professional goals. Signing off, Megan Storey.